Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings today. Happy New Year and welcome to 2020. We hope that this year will be far better than other years. Alright, now let's look at some of the trending news that we have. One that we have here, which we intend to share with you, the topic is Nigeria the haven of criminals, as Nigeria back number one position in crime conviction in the world. But before we go on with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube.
Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information and Culture, has openly disclosed that the fight against corruption gained momentum in 2019 with the launch of the Financial Transparency Portal and the high-profile convictions by EFCC, that's the Economic and Financial Crime Commission. Lai Mohammed said between January and October 2019 alone, EFCC has secured 890 convictions and recouped billions of looted funds, which according to him is the highest everywhere in the world. Mohammed, who said this at a press briefing in Lagos on Monday on President Muhammadu Buhari's achievement in year 2019, said this is the highest anywhere in the world. Recall that in 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018, the EFCC was only able to secure 103, 189, 190, and 202 convictions respectively. The high rate of conviction in 2019 is in addition to the billions of naira in looted funds that have been recovered by the Economic Financial Crime Commission. Lai Mohammed added that in an effort to block leakages and promote transparency and integrity in the management of resources, the president approved additional cost-saving measures, particularly in the area of official travels. Under the new policy, all MDAs are required to submit their yearly travel plans for statutory meeting and engagement to the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and or the office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation for express clearance within the first quarter of the fiscal year before implementation. On the nature and frequency of travels, he said that the president approved that all public funded travels, both local and foreign, must be strictly for official purposes, backed to documentary proofs. For class of air travels, the president has approved that ministers, permanent secretaries, special advisors, senior special assistants to the president, chairmen of extra ministerial departments, and chief executive officers of parastatals who are entitled to continue to fly business class, while other categories of public officers are to travel on economic class. Also, travel days will no longer attract payment of extra code allowances, as duration of official trips shall be limited to only the number of days of the event as contained in the supporting document to qualify for public funding, the minister said. Mohammed further said that 2019 was indeed a challenging year in terms of insecurity and banditry, but said the federal government faced the challenge headlong. He said also that the fight against insecurity was boosted by the border drill, which curtailed access to weapons by terrorist groups and other criminals. He added that as the drill, rice production received massive boosts, creating millions of jobs for Nigerians and moving Nigeria closer to achieving self-sufficiency in rice production.
All right, thank you very much. And our focus is on the rate of criminal conviction in Nigeria. According to the report presented by Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information and Culture, he said that Nigeria has the highest of conviction, about 890, and I can assure you that that data is not correct. If you want to look at all the miscreants that have been picked up by police, some other high profile stealing that we have also hit, and we're going to be looking at this. It's really amazing. 890, that is really, really alarming. And the question is Nigeria actually the heaven of criminals? Because this is really too much for one to bear. But we're going to be looking at some of the high-profile arrests, and convictions that we have seen in Nigeria, and also we're going to be talking about the case. What are the causes, possible causes of all these high crime rates in Nigeria? It's really alarming. Nigeria seems not to be a secure place for any ideal person again, especially those who are business oriented. They seem to be running away from investing in Nigeria just because of the level of insecurity, especially pertaining, banditry, issue of stealing and all of that. But a lot that we're going to be talking about focuses more on using pain to steal. They use pain to steal, some through Yahweh and the rest. So the first on the list, which we're going to be talking about, is the most recent, which took place on the 5th of December, the conviction of Ojuzo Kalu. Don't forget that this man cross-carpeted to APC with expectation that he would never be nailed for the case of him looting 7 billion naira from Abia State when he was the governor of Abia State. But amazingly, despite the fact that he has cross-carpeted, and also he's also the chief whip in the 8th Senate, yes, the 8th Senate or the 9th Senate, the 9th Senate, that I'm talking about, the current Senate, he was still being arrested, tried, and right now the young man is enjoying a long stay in the prison. That's really serious. A lot of people still believe that it is lopsided, that the focus is more on the southerners than the northerners. But there's also another case which I just want us to look at speedily. I'm talking about the case of this man is still pending. We are yet to arrive at a conclusion. The verdict is not still out, but he's still cooling off in the prison. I'm talking about the former chairman of the Pensioners Reform Tax Team, Abdulrasheed Maina. Remember that he has looted about 2 billion naira when he was in that position. They tried to arrest him. He ran out to stay off from Nigeria. But when he came in, thinking that with some of the contacts he had made, a lot of stories surrounds it. A lot of people also are involved in this case. But by the time he came in, him and his son were arrested. I think the case of his son being arrested was the fact that he pulled a trigger against pull a gun against one of those anti-craft personnel, and he was arrested alongside his father. 2 billion, some good money there. Then another one which they say the guy is a Yahoo boy. I don't know because he said he's into internet businesses. I'm talking about Ismaila Mustafa and his key person Hamza, who is a Lebanese, whom they say is using charm to aid Mustafa Ismaila. That's Mompha. Talking about Mompha. Mompha is involved. They said he carries out his fraudulent activities with Bureau de Change, and all of that. But the guy is not in prison, though the case is still ongoing. EFCC arrested him, but I think he has been freed. He has been able to meet up with his bail team and he has been freed, but I think the case is still ongoing. We have also heard about some other Yahoo boys who are, more cases of Yahoo boys, but one of them I can mention is Naira Marley. They said, I think his case is still in court. That they said Naira Marley, his real name is Aziz Fashola. His case is still in court. And also, last but not the least, my colleague has something to say about this also before we look at the causes. We are talking about the son-in-law to Atiku. That one actually happened, I think, in March precisely 2019, where Baba Lele Abdullahi was arrested, and they said he was arrested on the grounds of money laundering to the tune of about 61 billion naira. That's quite a huge amount of money. More arrests has been done, and this does not speak well of the country. But thumbs up to EFCC for the work they have done. Those still a lot of people still believe that it is lopsided, that it's really the opposition party that is really been faced in this case. But we're going to be looking at the cause in a jiffy. Do you have more people to mention?
Yeah, still on the issues of fraudulent practices and the individuals involved. Just fairly recently, before the end of 2019, Obaseki came into the picture, where Obaseki Commissioner, that's the commissioner in charge of arts, culture, tourism, and diaspora, Osage Osewinge Ero, was also indicted. According to EFCC, he's allegedly into fraud of $2 million. And that's a huge one. And Obaseki quickly dissociated himself from that commissioner, so that that particular dent will not come to his name and his party. Okay, still going forward in the issue of politicians also, we are looking straight into the FBI 77-man list, of which that's the suspected Nigerians who were involved in the biggest crime fraud committed in the world, massive fraud committed in the world. And we're looking at Chika Odionyema. He was actually in the inaugurated committee by Emeka Ihedioha of Imo State as the present governor of Imo State, of which Ihedioha particularly mentioned the fact that he did not sponsor him during his election campaign, because rumor was carried out then that the man who's on the run, presently still on the run, that's Chika Odionyema, is still very much on the run. There was so much rumor being carried on online then and everywhere that he single-handedly sponsored Emeka Ihedioha's campaign. Emeka Ihedioha's spokesman quickly debunked it, saying he did not bankroll his campaign, and the young man is still very much on the run. On the same 77-man list, suspected Nigerians wanted for fraudulent activities is a close ally and friend of Festus Keyamo by the name Jerry Igoho. And Festus Keyamo quickly debunked it that he's my friend does not also mean that I have an idea of what he does for a living. And these are prominent people who are also close to prominent men.
All right, thank you very much. We want to look at what are the possible causes of all of this. Fairly recently, when this guy was interviewing, talking about the current boss of the Anti-Graft Commission, EFCC, Magu, was being interviewed when he was kind of looking at the rate of crime in Nigeria. He said something very striking, and what he said was that most of those people will be rehabilitated, especially the Yahoo boys. They're going to be rehabilitated and plugged back into the society so that they can use that knowledge, criminal knowledge, to help track other criminals, or they may be employed to work. But the question is, why is there this alarming rate? Because for EFCC to clamp down on so many like therefore means they are even more than that. They are just able to pick up few. Yeah, they're using a lot of techniques to do all of this, but there are more. What is responsible for all of this increase? Most people say that the reason for this is because the government have abandoned the people, that they are not doing what they are supposed to do. And secondly, some people are tracing it to the church, that the church is not helping matters. They are preaching prosperity so much. I can still remember some many years ago when I walked into a place and I met a certain man of God, and the man told me that he was expecting me to come with a convoy. You know, imagine those kind of words. For you to keep pushing those words into the mind of people, it goes an extra mile, affecting them and causing them to do the wrong things. The environment itself does not help Nigerians. You know, people are ready to work, but they do not see anything to do. And, you know, with that in mind, they push this thing they begin to generate negative energy and push it into, you know, getting involved in crime and all of that. Some persons, I could still remember this guy, the governor of your state, Makinde, when he came on board, he said he has given a promise that he was going to be using his salary to, you know, fund to help pensioners and stuff like that. But by the time he came in and saw the salaries these guys were earning, the governors were earning, he kind of raised the alarm and said, hey, if you are paying all this small money as salary, what do you expect a man who is sitting over a budget of almost 500 billion naira to do? And do you expect him to earn as little as what you are paying me? And then he will be issuing out contracts to contractors to the tune of 90 billion naira, to the tune of 3 billion naira, and they will not compromise at this point. So we are looking at all of this. Do you think that these are the causes of it? Do you think that the government are not paying well and all of that? What do you have to say about it?
That is also part of it. When everything we do, we need to remember the fact that these things are part of the deal. If you're not paying the government, the governors, as in those political positions, are not well paid, and they're actually sitting on billions and millions, and there is no, permit me to use the word, there's no punitive measure against those who go against the rule of law, then what you expect is what you're seeing now. I would have said that if we want true development, much as I wouldn't advise that they increase salaries, because the truth of the matter is, if you increase the governor's salaries, you have actually said that all Nigerians should come and vie for governorship. Yes, why would I want to sit back when I know that if I enter governorship, I'll be well paid, and even my pensions after leaving the office is alarming. You can imagine a two-time governor having a house in Abuja and in Lagos, choicest house in choicest areas, and still being paid monies in tens of millions, and with security aides everywhere. Why wouldn't I want to vie for position? Why wouldn't I want to die in position of power? These are the things we need to review to reduce the level of crime rate, to reduce the level of desire to be in leadership, make it as unattractive as you can, and also bring out true leaders. Then those who loot the money, those who steal, there should be punitive measures, there should be laws, there should be entrenched in our laws, in our constitution, where anyone caught stealing by bribery, just like the Chinese have done, the money should be refunded, and also they should be in prison for life imprisonment, to discourage others from stealing. And anyone recovered, all this issue of recovered funds, looted funds, and we don't get to really know how it's being spent. That's also part of another level of scam, that somebody the EFCC recruits, refunds looted funds, and we don't get to really know what it's used for. That's another way of fizzling out the money, so that we don't even get to know what is being used for. All these things are the things that encourage such activity. I feel that everyone caught in the crime should be made to pay, with not just with their life, they should be in prison, and all those recovered monies be put back into the economy.
All right, thank you very much. Parental neglect also has been a reason for this increase in Yahoo. A lot of these children, they do not even have people who will give them the care that they require. And poverty also, some just want to get off the line of poverty forever. They don't want to stay there again. And some of them are being encouraged by the fact that justice is not being given served to those who are involved in criminal activities. The reason also, especially financial crime, I'm really more focused on financial crime. The reason why most people too are really enjoying this issue of financial crime is because, anybody who has money is celebrated in the society. If I have so much money, I realize people doff their cap for me. I realize general acceptability in my community. And guess what? Nobody cares to know the source of my money. Nobody even is interested in how I got the money. Everybody just say, oh boy, the guy don't hammer anyhow. We double for the guy. That's not how it should be. If we continue that way, this thing will keep increasing. I hope that the government will do something about this period. That's where we're going to wrap it up. Go to our comment section. Tell us also the list of politicians who have been arrested fairly recently, especially in the period of January to December 2019. And also, what do you think are the possible causes of this issue and how it can be